Hello, everyone. Welcome. Last session of the day. Thank you for being here. I think it was a bit tiring day for all of us. So thank you. I'm Gözde. I work for Appnext. And today I'm going to discuss about user acquisition strategies to expand reach and future-proofing for unlocking growth. We are going to discuss how to stay ahead in user acquisition in the very complex and competitive market. We are going to discuss about to target high LTV users. And last but not least, we're going to discuss about evolving market trends and how we navigate through that. I have over 2 decades of experience in that industry. I'm advocate of data-driven digital ecosystem, and I'm trying to help businesses for apps to thrive in this ever-evolving landscape. And as you can see, I love all animals, but I'm a dog person. That's my dog, Bo. I adopted him 4 years ago. He's 6 now. I love to explore the world. I am fond of plants, and I'm a kite surfer. Meanwhile, not to wait you a little bit, I will just give some information about Appnext. Appnext is a part of Apple Group. Apple is basically a public traded group with over 2.5 MCAP. And within Apple, actually, there are a couple of companies. Some of them are here, Jamp, Revex, MediaSmart, UAPI, and so on and so forth. And we are holding one of the top 5 ad tech companies globally and having over more than 30 tech patents in the industry for now. And Appnext, we are a growth platform, app growth platform, recommending users apps that they will use on their mobile journey. And we are actually having more than 500 million daily active users, recommending over 7 billion apps on a daily level. And we're actually partnering with strategic Android OEMs like Xiaomi, Oppo, Samsung, and many others. And also we have an Appnext SDK platform, which we have our own SDK already plugged into platform publishers. And we deliver ads from those supply sources. And on a monthly level, we have 15 million new apps downloaded every single day. These are the offices that we have all around the globe. Mainly, we have offices in emerging markets. So I will try to navigate here so not to scroll to the other slides. And today, in the topic, we're going to discuss about 3 main sub-subjects. And the first one would be to discuss about the UA strategies, what are the current state, what are the key challenges, what are the emerging trends. The second one would be to discuss about the channel diversification, mainly discussing non-traditional channels and mainly focusing on actually alternative app stores. And last but not least, future-proofing with machine learning, AI, and automation, and how we use these technologies or softwares in order to make our UA campaigns more successful. Okay, this is going to be tricky. How many apps do you think will be downloaded today globally? So it's a crowded market. So every day the app install is growing, organic or paid. So by the end of today, globally 250 million apps will be downloaded. Okay, so user acquisition is more than installs. It's just about exploring new growth channels. It's about navigating through the emerging technologies, post-privacy conscious practices and regulations. And of course, it's about finding the new and best channels to partner with in order to grow your new users. And with the increase of app install ad spend is also growing. In next year, it's going to be around $95 billion. And you can see the fluctuation year on year. As you can see, a big increase in 2021. Basically, it's caused by the higher and increased digital engagement during COVID-19. So that's why there's a huge increase. And on the consecutive years, 2022 and 2023, basically there is a decrease basically caused by the economic downturn and also privacy frameworks like Apple's ATT. And we expect to see an increase this year and the following year with 18 and 13% followingly. And basically this is a rebound of the decrease, and most of the increase will come from the non-gaming industry. App install is growing, app install ad is growing, and with all of these crowded app markets, customer acquisition cost, which we call it in the industry CAC, is also becoming more and more important, and it's also growing as well. Why it's important? It's basically pinpoints the top performing channels. It helps you to optimize your marketing strategies and find the most effective channels. It helps you to find the valuable user segments so you can invest in them more. And it boosts profitability and sustainability for growth. There are also many other reasons which you will not be seeing it here, but I'm sure most of the app developers have complex way of calculating CAC in their businesses. And with this crowded and competitive market, it's becoming even more and more important. And just to go by some numbers, this is very general numbers. Of course, we all know that Android CPIs are much lower than iOS due to many reasons. But of course, the complexity of the ecosystem is actually affecting these rates. The channel that you're investing, your app vertical, your app scale, all of these factors make the CPIs vary from a very long range. And you can see by location, just to give an idea, of course, the most expensive region is North America, and the least expensive region would be Latin America. So some companies having international deliveries, you make use of these less expensive and most expensive for testing and other reasons. But it's quite just the general information, and you can see the ranges are quite different. So it will depend on the channel you invest, your app, your vertical, and the size of your app. Customer acquisition cost is also increasing very consistently, inclining trend. And it has increased over 60% in the 5 years. And why? We actually know most of the reasons. First of all, it's a very saturated market. Millions of apps are vying for user attention. And there is users are more savvy now, and they're fatigue of the ads, so they're less. It's much more difficult to get their attention. They use ad blockers and some other tools to not get affected from the ads as well. So these are all affecting, and of course, the privacy regulations like CCPA, GDPR, and other practices are basically making it more difficult to target users on a behavioral level. So this is all making customer acquisition cost to increase. Okay, and let's talk about some emerging trends. And when we talk about emerging trends, of course, we always talk about AI, because the use of AI starting from our daily lives, of course, in our campaigns and user acquisition efforts is quite growing very increasingly. We were just talking with friends the other day. Basically, I'm using like AI in my daily task, even like when I look at the fridge and I want to cook something, and with the ingredients, I just find something to cook for. So of course, companies like us, app developers, are using AI in very innovative ways. And one of the uses of the AI is the prediction and predictive analytics. It's quite important, and it will become more and more important, because with Google's privacy sandbox, also most of the GAID will be gone soon as well. So in Appnext, we use a similar technology, which is based on predictive analytics. It's working in a deterministic way, gathering data, making use of the data, training the data, and making decisions with AI to deliver ads where, what time, and to who. This is basically getting the user points from their mobile journey, from their device, from the apps they engage or apps they use, and accordingly establishing a ad serving algorithm so that you can see and you can get a recommendation of set of apps where you're more likely to use. And the other one is creative optimization. I think also today it was discussed in a couple of sessions. It's quite important that you do it within your company as app developer, and also at tech companies that you work for do it for you, because at the end of the day, most of the standard ad units like banners, interstitials, they really require creative optimization, because the placement of the CTA, the colors, the promotion, and how it's built, it's continuously needs to be tested to increase the conversion. But in some other channels, like where it's least important, like on the device, like icon placement, as you can see here, it's a very tiny ad placement. It's organic-like, very non-intrusive. So most of the people don't think this is an ad. So in those set of ad units, it's not that required. But in the other traditional ad units, it's a very ongoing effort that is required and to be evolved every single day. I want to talk a little bit about the privacy regulations and also practices, because I think this is affecting the way that we work, and it's affecting how we target the users and how we make the ad delivery more relevant. Because when the granularity of the data is reduced with privacy practices, it's becoming more and more difficult to establish segments which will be relevant to convert for you. Some of the PETs, we call it privacy-enhanced technologies, like minimization, encryption, anonymization, on-device and federated learning. These techniques actually enabled some of the practices that we see in the industry. Universal IDs, Google's Privacy Sandbox, Apple Scan, PCM, and PAIR. All of these practices have been caused by these privacy-enhanced technologies so that we can make use of that practices. We've all been discussing Apple Scan for a period now. It's old, actually, but it's one of the first and most important privacy-centric framework from Apple. And in other words, it's StoreKit Ad Network or SK Ad Network. It's basically provides aggregated insights for advertisers to make use of advertising in iOS with there's no user-level data. And Google Privacy Sandbox is basically the similar version but it's for Google. It's making GAID, Google Advertising ID, less relevant, and in future maybe completely ignoring it. So most of the companies are working in ways to make sure how they can target much more relevantly when there is no GAID will be in place. So also in Appnext, we're always evolving ourselves to be more having contextual algorithms or interest-based algorithms that when there will be no specific user-level data, we can create segments that will be still relevant to deliver those set of ads for the specific apps. Actually, there are a lot of challenges in UA. Basically, in different verticals, we are always looking for a set of users. So maybe there is one user, but 25 apps are looking for that user. So it's a very crowded market. And apps and companies like us, trying to help app developers to stand out and to make sure that they get the best user that they will make their customer. So I will just give two major challenges because there are many ones. And I think the first and biggest, most important would be balancing quality with scale, because we have a lot of user acquisition channels. Some of them you're very happy with the performance, but when you want scale, you cannot scale. And some of the channels you have very good scale, but you want to improve the performance and you get limited. So having to find the very good mix of this is quite essential. And sometimes in one partner, you cannot find this. So it's very important that you look for always new growth channels to your user acquisition strategy so that you can find the best and the most relevant ad tech vendor for you. And when doing that, of course, you monitor post-install events, you monitor in-app purchase, and also users that are pushing to maximize the ROAS. But at the end of the day, very small number of audiences as responsible for the revenue. We call it Pareto principle. In non-gaming, 20% or less of the users are basically responsible for the 80% or more of the revenue. So which is a very quite small audience group. So you have to find new audiences which will feed and which will support to be in that 20% of the group. And for non-gaming, this is actually data from last year. 10% of the players are responsible for the 65% of the revenue in gaming. So again, the proportions are different, but as a result, a small group of people are responsible for the revenue. So when you're working with partners, not only for the short-term ROAS or post-install results, it's quite important that you are able to find channels that will bring you very high lifetime value. And the second key challenge that I simplify in 2 parts, it would be advanced attribution and clean traffic. Attribution, we all talked about today. There was AppsFlyer and Adjust. They were also talking about, and it's something very primary and very basic, but it's very important that we build an advanced attribution system. Last click attribution is not providing the real results and basically oversimplifying the process. I always give this example. Basically, I got from someone who is sitting here in the room now. It's like a football match. So if you score a goal and you attribute to all the success, all the good things to that person, you don't need a football team. You only need one scorer, but it doesn't happen that way. So there's people who are supporting that person to score and so on and so forth. So attribution is like that. So if you give last click, you just need to have a one team player in football, but it's not happening in real life. So you have to have an advanced attribution. It can be time decay. It can be multiple touch point attribution. And the most used would be multiple touch point attribution. But of course, depending to your business model and needs, it's the best you choose the most relevant one for yourself. And regarding clean traffic, I think it's important to make sure that you have systems and you work with partners that are enabling and allowing you to get access to clean traffic, because it's quite important that from the beginning that you receive and you work with partners who avoid fraud and other fraudulent activities, so that you don't need to work more to actually extract those and subtract those users from your system. So the synergy of both the advanced attribution and working with trusted, premium, clean traffic providers basically makes you accurately measure the performance for your channels, make data-driven decisions to optimize the campaigns, and find most valuable user segments in order to maximize your return on added investment. Channel diversification. Actually, here there are a lot of alternative channels, non-traditional channels, but I want to focus on mostly alternative app stores, because basically with the DMA and also more practices coming along with the DMA, it is becoming more and more important, and we're seeing more alternative app stores on the market. Basically, there are 2 alternative app stores. One is independent app stores, and the other one is OEM app stores. OEM app stores, I think most of you know much more. Basically, these are the app stores developed by the OEMs, Android OEMs, like Samsung's Galaxy Store, Xiaomi's Get Apps, or Oppo App Market. These kind of app stores, which are already pre-installed on these devices. And there's also independent stores. These are independently developed and can be accessed by any Android device and have no relation with the device manufacturers like APK Pure, Aptoid, and many others. And why these alternative stores are becoming more and more important. And by the way, with the DMA, in the coming year, Apple's and iPhones and iPads will be also having alternative stores. So it's already happening in European Union countries. And advantages of them, first of all, you're able to reach more markets, access to niche markets. You can reach different user segments from these alternative stores. And you have reduced competition, because not all the apps are there. Some of the apps are not developed or established in those app stores. So your app to have a chance to stand more is much higher in these app stores, either alternative, OEM, or independent stores. And there's a possibility to improve user engagement. How OEMs and also independent app stores, they provide a couple of promotional tools. Like OEMs, for example, they provide pre-installs, which are basically your app is pre-installed on the device, and they can offer on-device recommendations. They all have their own platform or partner with a technology company like us, which enables to bid on their own machine learning for their users. And you can make use of from the very low at the funnel to the upper funnel stages to get use of the alternative channels. And of course, one of the other things, when you tailor your app according to the specific requirements of that app store, the performance of the app and the conversion of the users is becoming much more better. So in that way, so if you develop your app on those app stores, it will be providing some of the users to get a better experience, and therefore you will have a higher increased engagement. Any questions so far? Okay, thank you. So last subject would be the future proofing. We're developing a lot of automations in the daily works of ourselves, also with the companies within our companies that we work with, AI, machine learning, and other tools that will actually make our lives more efficient and effective. Basically, in AI, one of the most important applications is predictive analytics and churn prediction. Why it's important? Basically, if you're using a technology which is using a predictive analytics, you have the ability to understand a certain segment of users, which will make the purchase in a very short amount of time. So you can select a group of people and say these users most probably will likely to shop within 7 days. So basically you will bid more, you will be more competitive, and you will try to make them convert more in order to turn them into customers, which you know they will be converting in a shorter period of time. And it's very difficult to do it with manual work. So AI is quite playing a major role here. And regarding the churn prediction, also there are some machine learning algorithms which identifies the users at risk of early churn. And when we know that, we can take precautions, like initiate some promotional tools or activate re-engagement campaigns and many others according to the early churn risk. And the second one would be personalization. Personalization is very important, but with the already existing and coming more privacy practices, it's becoming much more difficult to pinpoint that user. And in order to do that, you have to work around. And one of the workarounds is the contextual targeting, and the other one is behavioral targeting. So in contextual targeting, it's important that we take use of app usage, device type, location information, and these kind of information, you can actually make an understanding of the segments where there will be no user level precise data. And behavioral is the same. Maybe we don't know that specific user is shopping from that app or using that app, but according to the fingerprints that they left on their mobile journey, we can create a behavioral segmentation and then target them, and to make sure that we deliver relevant ads to those set of people. And it's going to be last topic about automation. We all use automation tools also in our daily lives. I don't know, like I think in calls, how many of you use AI in their calls? Okay, very, very few. Okay, nice. But I see more and more every day, people are using AI in their calls much more. Basically, why? Because it gives you a a very efficient way of working. It automizes some repetitive task. After the call, maybe you have to take some action items. You have to send a meeting recap, and basically, it's doing it for you. And automation in UA is doing the same thing for the campaign management, simplifying some repetitive tasks, bid optimization, campaign setting, budget setting, reporting, and so on and so forth. And there are custom rules or automated campaign management and rule-based automations, which all can be used in UA strategies. And there's actually one screenshot from here that you can see. This is a screenshot from our platform. With all the real-time reporting and automated campaign management, we also have on top custom rule automation. So you can decide to put some of the automation according to how you want to run the campaigns. And the partners who are providing you that actually makes it more simplified to manage the UA campaigns. So just as a summary, what we discussed, sorry for the mess for the slides, it was going back and forth. We discussed about how the market is growing, app install is increasing, 250 million a day. Ad install spend, UA acquisition spend is growing, expected to reach $95 billion next year. And customer acquisition cost, CAC, is also have risen, and it's going to increase with that incline, with 60% over the 5 years. And let's see how it will proceed in the coming months. And user attention spans are becoming shorter and shorter every single day. And it's hard to get the attention of the users and deliver relevant ads. More privacy regulations, more privacy practices are coming along the way. So adapting to them and adapting in a fast time is becoming much more crucial. And establishing a deliberately crafted UA strategy, because if you're happy working with a couple of channels, it's never enough. You have to work with partners that will actually give you that good mix of traffic and good mix of results. So it's a never-ending effort to find the new growth channels and to build advanced attribution. And of course, like working with partners that will provide transparency, that have the good technology that they can assist you would be very beneficial. So thank you for being with me. And if you have any questions, I will be more than happy to take it here or afterwards.